The average person we're gonna meet isn't really gonna be investing money, isn't really gonna be holding any other assets that isn't their house or car or maybe a nice little watch. The average person doesn't really invest. But what does social media tell us? Social media tells us that if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be rich to a certain extent, you gotta invest money. You gotta buy stock, you gotta hold it. You also gotta buy properties and hold that. But one thing that a lot of those social media gurus don't really talk about is that for somebody who didn't grow up with a lot of money, it's really hard to detach yourself from money. And that's a very common struggle I've seen with people where they attach so much emotion with their money when they're spending it, when they're just even seeing it hit their bank account. And when I was younger, I was probably around the age of 16, and I could open up a TFSA account, and I wanted to go to contact my bank, open it up, put some money in it. I never did. I kept delaying it, kept delaying it, kept delaying it. And up until last month, of which May, yeah, May of last, was it May? It was probably May. I'll have a receipt pop up there. I forgot the date when I started, but April to May, I put down my first $45. I put it down, put it into XEQT. What XEQT is, I forgot the full form, but basically it's a Canadian stock that also holds a lot of pieces from American, South American, European stocks, like big companies, and it's genuinely a very good way to start, in my opinion. I definitely did a lot of my research, and before I even put down any money into it, I researched 3 different apps, and the one app that I found is best for investing in Canada for me at least was Wealthsimple. It's a very easy app to use, very simple. And I didn't just download that app connected to my banking immediately. I probably spent about 30 minutes to an hour researching about it, figuring out how to use it. And once I was confident enough and I trusted the app after doing some reviews, I downloaded it, made my account, saved the stock I want to invest in as a watch. I put it on my watch list and I left it there. And a week after, just randomly sitting, I just remembered, oh, I got an investment. I gotta put down some money. So I pull out my phone, do a little bit more research on a proper stock. And I was first gonna impulsively dive into the S&P 500, which we all know is the most promoted stock ever. At least from my social media feed, it's one of the most promoted stocks ever. But that price tag kind of expensive. It was like 200. I'm not spending 200 on my first investment. But after I did that, I had that thought process like, all right, I want to start, but I don't want to put down $200. And then I searched up S&P 500 type of stocks, and I found XEQT. And as I said before, it's a big pie that has a lot of small pies in it. That's the simplest way to put it. And I did some research on it. I figured out how it works, how it functions, and then I put in about $44, around $44, and I bought my first stock. And I had no reaction to it. It was the most simplest decision I made in my life, and that's very weird because when I was younger, I mentally kept delaying myself from investing and buying the stock out of the fear of losing money. But just growing up and not really doing it, but I was talking about it, I finally got the courage to invest money into it. And the second I invested some money into it, I just didn't care. Not in the way of negativity. I did care about investing, but I didn't care about the money if it went up or down. Because even though I didn't really know much about it, I knew one thing about stocks was guaranteed. In the long run, 10, 20, 30 years, Growth is indefinite. It's always going to grow from today, or it could even drop, but the drop is always a short term drop. It's more about the long term game. That's what investing is all about, the long term aspect. And recently, I also focused on understanding myself on why I was afraid of putting down X amount of money. And truth be told, is that I was just pussy. I was just afraid of losing money. And as I said before, and I'm repeating again, I attached too much emotions to my money. And that's not saying it's negative. When you come from not having a lot of money and having money issues, you kind of grow up being a bit more afraid of losing money. It's just something that happens psychologically. And now that I have a job, part time job, I'm working, I'm making a good amount of money per month, and putting down that $40 was easy. I put it down, didn't think too much about it, and I was able to detach my emotions from my money, especially seeing it drop down 5% one day, coming back to a week after and seeing it went back up. That I was genuinely so proud of myself that I wasn't pushy, I wasn't impulsive in fear that my money's value went down because the stock went down. And is genuinely something that I feel like if you want to invest, you first have to detach yourself from the emotions you put on money. And everybody's different. More of that. Some people naturally can do it, some people can't. But I feel like if you wanna have long term success, you have to detach some emotion from money. And then again, this is just all my thoughts. It's just what I think about here and there. But if you can't detach your emotions and this X amount of like power you put on money, you can never see yourself losing money like in a temporary period to make more money. And that's just basically what like stocks are. They're a small decline for a long term growth. It's just that. And I was just calm. I got the email pop up, but when I got the email pop up that I had bought the money, but I had bought the stock, $44 gone like that, and I low key did put down like $23 at first, and then right after that I put in another $21. I was like, all right, cool, and it was just that simple. I put on $23. Like 30 minutes after, I was like, you know what? Let's buy the whole stock. I bought a portion of it. I was like, let me buy the whole stock for 44 something, and it was simple. It was genuinely so simple just to do that. And I stressed out for no reason. It was the most dumbest thing to stress out about. Now, I feel like if this is the simplest video ever, this is not any type of advice, this isn't any type of like suggestion what you should do with yourself with your money. It's just what I've done with my money. And I was able to get past that certain stage of attaching emotions to money, which a lot of people, from what I've heard and seen, they stress about. So that's just genuinely it. It's just don't attach too much emotions to this monetary value, because the more you attach it, the more harder it gets in life. The more harder it gets to take a risk with like a financial risk. It's just that simple. Don't attach emotions to your money. Keep your money separate. Keep your emotions separate. That's why a lot of people are not the best at day trading. They put too much emotion into their money, where in reality you just gotta buy it once, be patient and wait. Buy it again on a monthly basis and just be patient. Being patient and not attaching emotions is the most easiest way to make money. That's just how I think about it. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna see you guys next week. Y'all take care. Y'all live good. And Just keep smiling, gang. Keep working on yourself. Keep following that dream. Just that simple. Y'all keep doing you. I'm keep doing me. I'm trying to make an outro right now. I don't even know why. I'm leveling up my YouTube game right now. I'm adding an outro in, and then next week I'm adding an intro in. I might not ready yet, but that's just it. Y'all take care now.